We are on the road of death. This is what the logistical axis close to Ukraine's frontline has been dubbed. The road is littered with burning Russian tanks, bodies, and destroyed vehicles. This convoy was targeted by Ukrainian drones from the Magyar unit. They shared these images of the attack, filmed by their drones. Of the 11 destroyed Russian vehicles, 9 were hit by FPV drones. Small, highly maneuverable and fast aircraft equipped with an explosive charge. How did these small civilian aircraft, originally used as a pastime, end up being so essential in the war in Ukraine, for both Kyiv and Moscow? Le Monde has gathered footage and first-hand accounts to understand how drones took over the battlefield. FPV stands for first-person view. Because these drones are flown using immersion goggles so the pilots can be more responsive. Unlike traditional quadcopters used in many conflicts, an FPV drone has no stabilization system. So it's faster, but much harder to control. A careless moment, wrong move, or radio jamming means the drone is lost. Depending on the pilot and the area concerned, 6 to 8 out of 10 drones are lost before reaching their target. Because these devices have one mission: to explode on their target on the first try. These drones are equipped with explosives, like a rocket or modified grenade, and a detonation system. Depending on the model, they can have a range of up to 20 kilometers, which means that their pilots have to stay on the front line within range of enemy artillery and drones. Their targets, enemy positions, armoured vehicles, or ordinary soldiers who can hardly escape the nimble aircraft. Not all strikes are successful, but the numbers are clear. Since 2024, drones have caused the majority of Russian and Ukrainian casualties, according to Le Monde's estimation. FPV drones and the traditional quadcopters are often used together. FPVs didn't arrive in Ukraine by chance. Since 2014, the conflict around Donbass has been an experimental laboratory for drone attacks, particularly on the Ukrainian side. Filmed in May 2021, these videos show a Ukrainian FPV being used to spot enemy positions. But its use was limited and for reconnaissance purposes. The first filmed use of an FPV to hit a target doesn't come until several months after Russia's 2022 invasion. It's July 2022, and Sergei Zhukovin is testing out his FPV drone. He launches the drone and detonates it over a house full of Russian soldiers. His spotter, a soldier who directs him using a traditional drone, confirms the successful hit.
Ми навіть не могли собі уявити, що це буде наскільки зараз масово застосовуватись як нами, так і ворогом.
In the following months, more Ukrainian units began using these drones. Their simple design means Ukrainians can produce them themselves. Some parts are imported from China through front companies. Others are made directly in Ukraine. All of this costs between 350 and 1,000 euros per unit, depending on the model and production method. A small sum compared with equivalent American weapons delivered to Ukraine, such as these switchblades, which cost around $60,000 each. As Ukraine began to lack the artillery ammunition it needed in 2023 amid Moscow's onslaught, FPV drones became increasingly important. But Kyiv was lacking drones and wanted to develop their production. Firstly, through decentralized initiatives by Ukrainian civil society, financed by donations and sponsorships. Factories were set up, producing drones by the thousands.
L'État, en fait, par des encouragements, va comme ça aider la production de drones à passer d'un mode de production purement artisanal à une production beaucoup plus massive.
Ukrainian drone production exploded, from tens of thousands in 2023 to 1.5 million drones by 2024.
У час, коли ми очікували постачання артилерії від наших партнерів, FPV-дрони фактично вберегли фронт.
But Russia, which lagged behind Ukraine's drones, began to catch up. This included FPV production and deployment.
Ils arrivent, en lançant une production de masse du coup sur les drones, à contester l'échelon dronisé que les Ukrainiens sont capables de mettre en face. Donc le seul avantage ukrainien a été à ce moment neutralisé ou du moins contesté.
With the increased presence of Ukrainian and Russian FPV drones, the war was transforming. Trenches and some logistics routes began to be covered with anti-drone netting, and anti-drone weapons, more or less effective, began to multiply. Even vehicles were modified with extra protection and fitted with jammers to try to block the drone's signal. But FPVs are also constantly evolving on both sides of the front. Some have been transformed into bombers to drop mines and grenades, others equipped with thermal and night vision systems, or automatic guidance systems, which take over to complete the strike if signal has been lost. Motherships, which carry the drones and repeat the pilot's radio signal, are even being created to increase their range. Russia is behind one of the biggest innovations. Since the summer of 2024, some FPVs have been manned by fiber optic cables and not radio waves. Slower, more difficult to control, and more expensive, they are, however, impossible to jam.
Що нам робити? По-перше, треба ефективно протистояти ворожим дронам. На даний час дрони, особливо оптика волоконним управлінням, це найбільша загроза.
Despite this threat, FPV and other drones could still be Ukraine's answer to resisting Russian attacks, especially if the US's threat to stop military aid becomes a reality.
You're not in a good position.
Just days after Trump berated Zelensky in the Oval Office, Ukraine announced the launch of DroneLine, a recruitment campaign with 100 million euros invested to strengthen the Ukrainian army's best drone units. Ukraine will also buy 4.5 million FPV drones in 2025, 3 times as many as in 2024.